Now to our other top story, 91 criminal charges in 4 pending criminal cases. There are 3 civil cases looming as well, all standing in the way of former President Trump's efforts to win back the White House. All of that leading to this picture, a mugshot for the history books, taken by the Fulton County Sheriff's Office in the Georgia case. The former president, along with 18 co-defendants, booked on felony charges related to election interference. Will any of them decide to now cooperate with prosecutors? That's the question. Trial dates are up in the air, but starting as soon as this fall and then running through the first half of 2024 as the primary election will be in full swing. Right now, Donald Trump is the undisputed Republican frontrunner in every poll. And his campaign confirms he's raised a staggering $7 million since that mugshot was released. We begin here with Trump legal spokesperson Alina Habba, also general counsel for the Save America Leadership PAC. Alina, welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Thank you. Happy to be back.
Okay, so you've called this mugshot one of the best things that's ever happened to President Trump. These indictments have been a boon politically and in fundraising, but in the months and years down the road, there are a lot of legal battles ahead. We want to show folks this is a timeline of all the impending court dates and trials in the coming months. He's innocent on every criminal charge unless a jury finds him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. But the maximum charges and convictions, if all totaled together, they come to more than 700 years in prison. Are there moments in talking this over and sitting with the president that the weight of that reality sets in for him?
No, Shannon, because what you just displayed, I think, says it all. That is all intentional. That is exactly what they wanted to do. There is very much a coordinated effort. And if you ever doubted it, think about how Fannie, when she was asked at her press conference if she was coordinating with Jack Smith in D.C. and the government, couldn't give us a yes or no. That says it all. So we know this is intentional. We're not concerned because we know the facts of the cases, which I can't get into, obviously, for privileged reasons. But I can tell you that it's to tie him up. It's definitely political. The motivation is now under investigation by Jim Jordan for Fannie, and I believe Jack Smith should be investigated as well. And they intentionally waited years and years and years for something that happened to bring it now when he is the leading candidate for the Republican Party.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about some of the back and forth with the House GOP now pressing on Jack Smith and on Fani Willis about that with our legal panel. But let me ask you this, the logistics. You saw the timeline there. That's in the middle of running for president, caucuses, primaries. How do you logistically handle, prepping a client for all of those different trials and running for president of the United States?
Yeah, if it was a normal person, honestly, Shannon, I could understand the concern. President Trump is not your average person. He's incredibly intelligent and he knows the ropes. He also knows the facts because he lived them. These are not complicated facts. Look at Fannie. It was a phone call that's been around forever that he refers to as the perfect phone call. What is he going to have to be prepped for? The truth? You don't have to prep much when you've done nothing wrong. So that I'm not concerned with. These trial dates also are going to move. It's unrealistic, it's theatrics, and no judge is going to say that you can be on 2 trials at once in 2 different states because a lot of these overlap. They look at the start date of the trial, but these are 4 to 6 week trials at the least. So there's no way they're not going to overlap. I mean, they're going to have to go into October, November of next year, again, by design. But in terms of President Trump, the candidate, I have zero concerns.
Okay.
Look at his poll numbers, and he didn't even go to the debate.
Yeah, the numbers are through the roof. But to be fair, that Georgia indictment is very lengthy, ties in a lot of people and a lot more than just that one phone call. But that certainly seems to be at the center of what Fani Willis is building her case on. There are also, let me look back at one of the federal cases. There's been a change with regard to the Mar-a-Lago case. Special counsel filed a new document there, and it appears a Trump employee there has changed his story. Jack Smith's filing says this: immediately after receiving new counsel, Trump employee 4 retracted his prior false testimony and provided information that implicated Nauta de Oliveira and Trump in efforts to delete security camera footage. Newsweek runs this headline about that employee: him flipping could spark domino effect against Donald Trump. There are a lot of people involved in a lot of different cases. They don't all have the resources the former president does to defend themselves. How worried are you about them flipping, working with prosecutors in any of these cases?
So the term flipping, Shannon, in itself implies that you've done something wrong and somebody is going to turn on you.
No,
that is not a concern
just flipping
we have.
his testimony, meaning that he told one story, changed attorneys, and has now changed his story, meaning he flipped.
Meaning that he possibly obstructed justice or said something different. I don't know. I wasn't there and I haven't seen the testimony. My point to you is this. It is a very nerve-wracking for all these defendants. I just want to say for all of them across the board, to go in front of a grand jury, which unfortunately I have had the pleasure of doing because I'm a Trump attorney, to go in front of a grand jury, even as an attorney, is a very frightening thing. And they are intimidating. It is not normal. And for these people that are literally the American dream, they've come in, their parents weren't born here, they're immigrants, and they've gotten a great job. And then all of a sudden they're thrust into a grand jury. Why? Because they work for President Trump, and that's what they do to you. It's terrible. And I feel for all of these witnesses, including the one that you said, oh, got his new lawyer. Who knows what the facts are? They're wonderful people. I know many, if not all of them. And what they're doing is intimidation. So I'm not going to speak to what happened in a grand jury testimony without speaking to that testimony. But I can tell you that we know one side, and that when we get our chance, we will show exactly what happened and how the president is frankly vindicated.
And that is what our Justice Department is all about. Our justice system is about. Alina, thanks.
Yes.
We'll continue to track the cases with you.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.